Stay dandy, baby. Kashin Koji's identity has been revealed, and Isshiki finally makes his presence known in the latest batch of episodes from Boruto Naruto Next Generation. But before we begin, my friends, make sure to smash the like button. Just obliterate it right now. It helps out these videos a lot. If you're liking my content, please subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. And of course, if you would like to support the channel in another way, please consider checking out my Patreon. It would really help out the channel a lot. Remember, first-time donators, I'll review an anime series of your choosing. I do have a Patreon review, which is going to be coming up very soon, so make sure and stay tuned for that. Also, before we begin the review, I would like to ask all of you to go ahead and pre-order your copy of Metroid Dread for the Nintendo Switch, releasing on October 8th, 2021. Nintendo's not paying me for this. I just think Metroid kicks ass, and you should definitely play it. But let's go ahead and dive right into these batch of episodes right here. Yes, I'm going to be talking about two because I just cannot get my review schedule in check. But these episodes sort of go hand in hand as they're sort of a build-up to the next major conflict of the series, where we get a big rematch. That's right, Naruto, Sasuke, and Boruto as they battle against Isshiki, who finally makes his full first appearance in the anime series. We've only seen glimpses of him before. Shots from behind, silhouetted images, his weird voice coming through Jigen, but we finally get to see him in the latest batch of episodes, and it's pretty freaking incredible. And again, like some of the previous episodes, we have a lot of info dumping, a lot of exposition, learning a little bit more about karma, how it works, and of course some of the massive side effects that come along with it. Not to mention, I can finally talk about Kashin Koji's identity, and man, it feels good. So I think it goes without saying that here's a spoiler warning. If you haven't checked out these episodes, get off your ass. Go do it right now. Check out these episodes and come back to this review. Okay, you've been warned. Let's go ahead and jump into this one. So, the first episode here is sort of like the big conclusion of Kashin Koji versus Jigen. It all ended with Jigen just being covered in flames, basically being boiled and broiled alive. He's being deep fried, so to speak, by Kashin Koji, and we get to learn from Amato that the only true way to take out one of these guys is to utilize non-chakra based abilities. That's what Kashin Koji is doing. He's quite literally summoning real fire. Fire that's not created from chakra, thus he's not able to actually absorb it. However, he still has the ability to actually shrink it. This is some pretty important information, as it is officially confirmed that the only real living thing that Jigen can actually shrink is himself. Not other living beings, himself, and only other inanimate objects. However, this comes at a price. This is a very powerful ability, and it's draining him greatly. And considering he just had a big epic battle with Naruto and Sasuke, he's basically the mayor of Strugglesville. He cannot handle any of this shit right now, and this is all a part of Kashin Koji's plan to basically draw out the real Isshiki. Now, the reason that this is a really big deal is because we get to learn, of course, that there are multiple karma on different people. We know that Jigen is, of course, going to be imbued with the karma, but we also know that Kawaki is as well. But in this moment, as he's forced to use all of his abilities, he has no choice but to go through the whole karma reincarnation thing, and he has to use Jigen's body. And he does do this. However, we get to see that when this happens, Kawaki ends up losing his karma in the process. Now, the main reason for this is because he doesn't want to accidentally duplicate himself for his overall personality. So whenever someone is reincarnated into another body, all the other karma are going to disappear, and basically they're alive and back, and if they want to reincarnate again, they're going to have to put a karma in someone else. So basically, this is all a ruse to try and bring out Isshiki so they could find a true way to actually kill him. But even when he uses Jigen's body as a means of reincarnation, Isshiki is just on a completely different level when compared to other characters. You thought he was strong before, and now that he's officially back, his weird shrinking abilities have been amplified to a crazy new level. He also seems to have the ability to store things in like a pocket dimension, whether it be just a bunch of destructive pillars or even just a glass of wine. Ishiki's a classy villain. He knows his red wines. He drinks them. He crushes the glass. He's a pretty cool dude. But he also is able to use his abilities to shrink Kashin Koji's mask. Now, of course, the Toad Scout was shrunk, so now they're not going to see the end of this fight, and they're not going to get to see Kashin Koji's true identity. But we, the viewer, actually do get to see it. And we can finally talk about it. Holy shit! Kashin Koji is a clone of the legendary Sannin Jiraiya. That's right, it's official, it all adds up. The fact that he's using toad abilities, fire abilities, the swamp style techniques, Rasen freaking gone. This is Jiraiya, returned. Not exactly, not the original Jiraiya, and certainly not the one with the same personality, but a younger, different version of that character who was created by Amato with the sole purpose of trying to take out Isshiki, or at least die trying. Like, that's the entire point of this character, and, you know, it's not that shocking. I mean, really, the clues were there the entire time. And if you're manga viewers, you've known this for the longest time at this point. I think for over a year here. It's been a pretty big deal about his character. But this is where things get interesting. We get to learn, of course, that he's a legendary Sannin clone, but that's about it. They don't go much further into it. They just sort of reveal it. He can use Sage Mode abilities and everything, and he uses all of this to go up against Isshiki, who just completely destroys him in every way. I mean, he practically crushes his entire body by summoning all of these massive pillars, which pretty much just slam down on his body, destroying his flank and his arms and his legs, and that's pretty much it. But Kashin Koji, in classic Jiraiya-esque fashion, is able to escape by summoning a toad, which swallows him, and then he disappears, maybe never to be seen again. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Even at this point in the manga, we still don't know what happens to Kashin Koji. He's out there somewhere doing something. I refuse to believe that they're going to kill off a character like this. And then this is when Konoha Village has to go into high fucking alert, because Ishiki's back, he's in town, but Amato reassures them that this is their opportunity to kill him, because since he is in Jigen's body, who is not the perfect vessel for him, he only has a little bit of time to actually live. A couple of days, maybe a day at best. So he's going to have to work really fast to find Kawaki and put the karma in his body so that he can reincarnate into him and come back as the super powerful Otsutsuki god. And that's what brings us to the latest episode of the series, where Isshiki just decides to casually arrive in Konoha Village to cause all manner of ruckus. Thankfully, Ino and all the other side characters of the Naruto series are there to evacuate the entire village as a big battle is preparing to go down, with even all of Naruto's friends deciding to attack Isshiki, which of course does jack and shit. This is actually a scene that did not exist in the manga version. It basically just opened with Naruto and Sasuke going after him, and I know why they did this. They wanted to build a little bit more time and to show the bravery of his friends, but I mean, what the hell are they gonna do? What is Choji going to do against Isshiki Otsutsuki? And it's such a stupid scene. It's Konohamaru using a Rasengan while all of them jump behind them. What was the overall plan here anyway? I mean, we're gonna hit him with a Rasengan and kick them all at once and use our special abilities. I just didn't see what the overall plan was, and I felt that this added scene was a little dumb. That's just my personal opinion. Take it or leave it. It's not really that big a deal. It's essentially just a moment for Naruto to become very heroic as he appears with his Rasengan, destroying one of these pillars that's about to crush Konohamaru, and then a big battle ensues, with them going around Konoha Village, destroying everything like Superman and Zod. The best part, though, is when Sasuke comes into town. Every single time Sasuke comes in, he makes the coolest entrance possible, using his Rinnegan to switch places with him, and even Isshiki recognizes that his abilities with a Rinnegan are just ridiculous and overpowered. And this is where we get one of those classic Naruto moments. You know what I mean by classic, right? It's where we get to see like a special like technique that's been cooked up behind the scenes that we know nothing about. It recalls some of my favorite memories of watching the original Naruto anime series for the very first time, like when Naruto and Sasuke were teaming up against Zabuza with the giant windmill shuriken and turning that into a clone. They do a similar thing here. As I said earlier in the review, we get to know that Isshiki does not have the ability to shrink living objects, so Sasuke decides to take his sword out, throws it at Isshiki, which he can't manage to shrink. This actually ends up being Boruto, who's been powering up his karma ability to utilize like a space-time jutsu ability to transport Isshiki away so that Naruto and Sasuke could follow him, so they could end up in some place which could be any battlefield in Dragon Ball Z, so that they can fight him to their heart's content and utilize their most powerful abilities. Basically, they don't worry about destroying anything. They can just go all out. We get a really great scene where we get to see both Sasuke and Boruto actually like coming up with this plan, which I thought was really awesome. Sasuke is as hardcore as ever, though, saying that if he loses control and Momoshiki starts to take over, he won't hesitate to even kill him. And this is what sort of like pushes Boruto to go through with this resolve. He asks to wear Sasuke's headband, which is all sorts of awesome and spine-tinglingly cool. And then basically the episode ends as we finally get to the next episode, the big rematch, Naruto and Sasuke fighting against Isshiki, and I'm excited. I can't wait to see how they're actually going to handle it. I can't tell if the next episode is going to have amazing animation or not. I'm sure it's going to have some cool moments, but I'm sure they're going to be able to stretch this one out, and trust me, guys, you're going to want to check out this fight. It's going to be one of the biggest ones possible. So, what's the rundown on this episode of Boruto? Man, there was a lot of material in these episodes, whether it's the explanation of karma, how it works, its weaknesses, and the weird abilities around it, the reveal of Kashin Koji, which really wasn't that big of a shock. I thought they were going to try and do a little bit more with it in the anime version, but they're like, nope, he's a Jiraiya clone, and he's gone, bye. That's pretty much the whole way that they actually handle it, and that's pretty much the way it is in the manga as well, but I'm very excited for the coming episodes here in the battle with Isshiki, as he's easily one of the most intimidating villains that we've seen in a very long time. His overall raw confidence in his ability of just walking casually into Konoha Village and taking on anyone with his superior abilities is nothing short of awesome. He's also just a visually really awesome looking villain. These episodes didn't have the best animation or anything attached to them, but there's certainly some really great close-up shots of him which are really detailed and look really cool, and this villain carries quite an aura around him, which I think is really freaking great. I just think that's awesome. One thing I do want to comment on, and something that I think is remarkably interesting, is how fast the anime is actually catching up to the manga. I mean, we're like 10 chapters away from being where they are in the manga, and the way that they stretch things out in the anime, or sometimes how quick they go, can be a little alarming. I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to handle it from here, as this big battle with Isshiki is important, but what happens like right after it is kind of where we are in the manga at the moment. So I wonder if a big filler arc is on the way, or if they're going to do something completely different with it. I can't wait to see what the overall plan is going to be. The fact of the matter is there are going to be some big changes coming, but for the time being, I'm going to kick back, relax, and enjoy all the crazy action which is unfolding. And I really hope that there's a certain moment that's coming up that they hope they give a lot of good animation to. I mean, like, this could be one of the biggest moments from the entire series, and it is going to feature a massive moment. Believe you me when I say it, there's going to be some really shocking moments for people who only watch the anime of this series. But the fact of the matter is, spoilers have been out there for a long time, so there's a good chance you've probably heard about some of these events. But I'm really interested to see, if you're an anime-only watcher, how you're actually feeling about everything that's actually happening right now, because man, it's nuts. If I wasn't reading the manga, this would all be so insane to me right now. But as it is, I kind of know what's going to happen, but I'm still enjoying some of the things that they're doing with it. But they need to go a little bit more all out, I think, in terms of the action that's going to be coming in the next couple of episodes, because this is a big moment. This is a lot of weight. This is a massive villain, and it's going to be a huge turning point for the rest of the series. And even then, there's still a lot of mystery behind everything that's happening here. So overall, I really loved both of these episodes. I really got some big classic moments from it, especially I think my favorite moment was Sasuke and Boruto teaming up to try and transport Isshiki away. I just thought that was a really great moment. It's great that we can finally talk about Kashin Koji being a Jiraiya clone. It's been so hard to not just want to talk about that this entire time, but it's out there, it's great. Thank freaking God, most of the spoilers are basically done. Now we can just talk about this shit and enjoy it. So, Naruto, Boruto fans, check this stuff out. I think it's pretty awesome. I'm giving both of these episodes 4 out of 5s. I thought they were really solid, and I cannot wait for this upcoming battle. Naruto and Sasuke teaming up is always a treat, and now they're going up against another Kaguya-powered villain. So, you can bet your ass it's going to be pretty friggin' awesome. So, there it is. I love these episodes. Love to get your thoughts on them. Sound off in the comment section below telling me what you thought about both of them, what you hope to see from the upcoming battle. Anime-only watchers, make sure to give me your thoughts. And that's basically it. Let's just talk about this episode. So that concludes this review this time, guys. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.